Commonwealth Bank here on WCCS, AM 1160, WCCS and 101.1 FM. It's Friday morning. It's 9:45, a quarter before the top of the hour. We did just get an announcement that was emailed to us. Homer City Volunteer Fire Department bingo for tomorrow has been canceled because of weather concerns, okay? So take that into account. Meanwhile, let's turn our attention to our studio guests this morning. Dawn Brown is with us. She is the Southwest Regional Coordinator for PA Link to Aging and Disability Resources, and with her is Melinda McCoy. She is the lead PA Link Coordinator for the Service Area 5, and that serves Armstrong, Indiana, and Westmoreland counties. And they both join us today to introduce us to the entire concept of PA Link. Ladies, good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, it's good to have you. And you did that in harmony.
We did.
See, we were concerned about being live on the radio, and here you do that. Dawn, let's start with you and talk about PA Link. What is it? Who is it? And I guess what does it do?
Yes, so thank you for having us today. Link is a cross-age, cross-system network of partner agencies. We collaborate to serve individuals who need long-term services and supports. Mm-hmm. So basically, those are adults 60 plus with any type of disability. Disability is broad for us, so that could include substance misuse and behavioral health. Okay. If I have just a little bit more time to just tell you, so we're an Aging and Disability Resource Center, mm-hmm. And in Pennsylvania, the Aging and Disability Resource Center is known as PA Link. So, and we're a little bit different. So we are not just a center. So we're not exactly a building that you can go to. Rather, we are a network approach here in PA. We essentially work with partner agencies to form our network.
And that, I guess, is where the term link comes from then.
Absolutely. Yep.
You're able to link with all of those together. So you streamline access to services and supports. And I think that's a big problem around these parts is people, if they have a problem, they have no idea where to start. And that's a big thing, isn't it?
It's a huge thing, and that's really why we exist. And because we work with partner networks, we can pool our resources, if you will. Mm-hmm. So essentially, we want to address individuals more holistically. We're creating safety nets, if you will, so that individuals, as you said, don't get lost in the system, or we like to say they don't fall through the cracks. Mm-hmm. So we use a person-centered approach, which means that we work with individuals based on their own goals, preferences, and needs.
Mm-hmm. And I like that the term "no wrong door."
Absolutely,
policy. That's an interesting concept as well. Well, let's find out how we do all of this with Melinda. Melinda, well, tell me, what are the mechanisms by which you do what it is that you do?
Well, we do this through a cross-referral system by training and educating our partners on programs and services of other partners. Mm-hmm. We share resources. We offer trainings on various topics of interest. Some of the trainings, some of you might be familiar with, we did a training back in October titled Had I Only Known. We were able to bring in the Department of Health, and they talked about medical marijuana, what it is and what it isn't. Mm-hmm. We've done trainings for housing and senior center managers and service coordinators. We did a training entitled Senior Bullying. We also offer training and education to consumers on programs and services or issues that may affect them. Mm-hmm. Some of those trainings that we've done trainings on frauds, we've done trainings on scams. We brought in a lawyer to speak about power of attorneys, estates and trusts. So these are some of the educational trainings that we do for our consumers as well.
It's interesting. How do you identify, because there are so many topics and so many different ways and avenues you can go, how do you identify this is something that has cropped up, this has become a real problem that people need to know about, let's do something about that?
Well, our collaborative network of partners, we come together at a table setting and we discuss issues and concerns that we hear from our consumers, because many of us work in the field with the actual consumers. And so we hear what's going on, we understand the issues, and then we try to come together and just try to resolve those issues as best as we can through trainings and educational seminars.
Mm-hmm. For either of you, this question, tell me about no wrong door. What does that mean?
Well, I'll start off, and then I'm sure Melinda can fill in. So no wrong door means that because we're a networked partner approach, that consumers really should be able to go to almost any agency and get the information that they need. So for instance, if somebody goes to one agency and through talking with them, that agency realizes that, you know what, we really can't meet all your needs, that you really need to go somewhere else to get those met. Because we network and we partner, that agency is going to know exactly where that individual needs to go. So very often they can do more than just give them an address and a phone number. Sometimes they can pick up the phone and call somebody they know over there and say, hey, I'm with, say, Mary Smith here, and she has some questions. We know you can help her. Can we make an appointment with her? Really just makes it, they can go to any door and get the help that they need much easier.
So with the number of counties with which you work, I would assume then that you identify and partner up with agencies within each of those counties. What are some of the counties here in Indiana County?
Some of the
agencies here in Indiana.
In Indiana County, we have Aging Services Incorporated. They are an actual core partner. They offer something what we call person-centered counseling. Okay. And I can tell you a little bit about that in a moment. We have CRI, Accessibilities, the ARC of Indiana County, Open Door. We have several partners in Indiana, and those are just a few. But Aging Services Incorporated is an oversight partner. They do offer a service called person-centered counseling. It's not actual counseling. Briefly, it's a service that offers more than information and referral. A personal interview is done with the consumer. Resources are discussed. The actual counselor helps the consumer design an action plan, and then follow-up is done. And again, as I said, in Indiana County, the partner that does that person-centered counseling is Aging Services Incorporated. Within
Indiana County, since we're here right in the heart of it right now, do you find that there are certain needs that are really under the radar that need to be addressed now? Like Indiana County, we should place a priority on this right now, as opposed to maybe in another county they have it handled a little bit better?
Absolutely. Currently, right now, we've been discussing in our collaborative partner meetings the opioid epidemic. Obviously, that's right in our face at the forefront. So we've been working with Armstrong Indiana Clarion Drug and Alcohol to offer some trainings to consumers as well as to our partners so that everyone can be as educated as possible on this epidemic. We also are dealing with personality disorders, so we do have a training that will be coming up to deal with those as well.
Oh, yeah. Don Brown is with us, Melinda McCoy as well. PA Link is the name of the organization. We've been learning about it and what it does and how it operates within its particular regional center. And I think one of the things we need to get out there right now, and we'll repeat it later, is somebody's listening to this saying, that all sounds great. How do I get involved? How do I get in the door? What do they need to do?
Well, for one thing, we would like you to know about our 800 number. If I could say that number, that is 800-753-8827. So again, I'm going to repeat it. 800-753-8827. This is a statewide number. We have a call center where that number is answered. So if that's a consumer that needs to know where they can go to get help and services, that, you know, the individual answering the phone can answer that. Yeah. Also, if we have agencies that want to connect with Melinda, they can find out how they can get a hold of Melinda. Melinda, I'm sure, can let you know how to reach her as well, since she is the central figure here in Indiana, Westmoreland, and Armstrong counties.
Throw it out there, Melinda.
Absolutely. I can be reached at 724-237-1242.
Say it again.
724-237-1242.
All right. You said something a couple of moments ago that I think is probably, we were talking about, you know, what are some of the things that maybe we might not know are issues that people deal with. Senior bullying. Conducted a training on that. Tell us about that.
Senior bullying. Well, first of all, I will tell you this. Most people that are titled as the person that bullies, they don't know that they are a bullier. They don't know that they bully. So the senior bullying trainings actually help individuals identify who is the person that does the bullying and how to deal with them. And then it also helps you to deal with the person who is bullied. So this training was geared towards our partner agencies, mostly senior center managers, service coordinators, or housing managers, because in a lot of the senior centers, you have individuals that do bullying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's interesting because the way that you put that as well, they might not even realize that what they're doing is really classified as bullying behavior, and it is because of the way that it might intimidate someone and make them feel uncomfortable. And in that case, that's a behavioral modification thing that you're talking about that can probably be solved rather easily simply by opening up somebody's eyes to exactly what's going on.
We hope, yes.
Yeah, certainly. And if that sort of abuse continues, then the victim, well, the victim should probably be involved in it the entire time so that there's a clear understanding between all parties.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, terrific. That's wonderful that events and services such as that, frauds and scams, another thing. We hear about it all the time. We get the police reports here. And, you know, we've had Sheriff Bob Fyock. We've had Pat Doherty, the district attorney, on talking about it. And we say to ourselves when we get those reports, how could someone ever fall for that? But it's easier to fall for it than you might think. And so education in that aspect of our lives, our social interactions is extremely important too.
Yeah, and I'd like to just comment on that because that's very true. I mean, I get calls all the time at my home, and you know, we're well versed in this, but you know, it's so easy for somebody to pose as somebody else. Often I notice that even on my caller ID, scammers will just pick a local number that is well known. So across on the caller ID, it'll come across as maybe somebody that you're familiar with, an entity, and that's not at all who's on the other end of the phone. So people, you know, it's easy to fall for. I could just give this person my information and it's going to be fine. But it's real. We have to be very careful these days.
And that changes all the time. They're picking up new techniques and strategies to get into your personal life. Every single day. All right, ladies, let's give one more time the telephone contact numbers, both Dawn, the number that you gave, and Melinda, the number that you gave locally, too.
Yeah, so again, our state call number for Pennsylvania Link is 1-800-753-8827.
Okay, Melinda.
And again, for partners, my local phone number is 724-237-1242. If you're interested in partnering with PA Link, please give me a call.
Very good. Ladies, thank you so much.
Thank you
for visiting with us here this morning. It is Indiana in the Morning, presented by First Commonwealth Bank here on WCCS AM 1160 and FM 101.